Folks, welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show, and here tonight with a guy who's receiving an award, mentoring award, recipient for the 2017 mentoring award, Ron Weintraub. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about overcoming adversity in general? I just interviewed the ball player that is going to be speaking, Adam Greenberg, and I wanted to get from your point of view how a time in your life when you overcame adversity and how it made you stronger.
I was taught by my father to be very independent, and so that from a very early age he schooled me about everything that had to do with the family and with his business, so that when he passed away when I was 21 years old, I didn't get thrown into a hot pit. I had a background and an understanding of what to do, and that overcame a whole lot of problems that I think it would have had.
That being said, how does that relate to this evening? How does it relate to the idea of overcoming adversity? I mean, you faced it in your life. You know, I mean, maybe you were prepared for it, but I guess what I'm trying to get at is here we have a gentleman here, Adam Greenberg, right. Makes it all the way to the major leagues, takes a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and he does. It's not like Kirby Puckett where he never could play again. He tried, but rather than quitting, and we have a lot of cats now that are dropping out, he didn't. And I want you to talk about inspiration. That's what I'm getting at, is overcoming adversity.
I guess I'm still having you want it from my personal point of view?
Of course, you're getting the mentor award.
Well, mentoring does not necessarily mean that you've had a life of overcoming.
Mentoring means you've had a lot of life experience, and
it's
not always. Life is good and bad.
That's right. Hopefully, at least equally, but maybe.
But if there was something that just pops in your mind, a moment, a period in time. Because this guy, when I talked to him, I mean, really was facing everything was up against him, and he's fought it off, and now he's on the other side of the hill.
Well, I have to go back to the same situation that I was in when my dad died. I overcame having a draft notice, having his business fall on my shoulders.
How old were you?
21.
Wow.
Having the building which the business was located having to go by eminent domain, and I had a paper from the court making me my brother's guardian. So I had 4 really big things that could have, I suppose, driven me to drink, but it didn't. And I just, based on what I learned in my life experiences before that time, I was able to cope, and I did cope. I don't know how to.
It's fine. Let me ask you. What has been an inspiring thing for you in 2017? I mean, we're always still learning. We're always still growing. What were you inspired by so far this year?
What was I inspired by so far this year?
You're talking to a serious I'm a master interviewer, so you know. I asked the good.
You're
questions.
Not letting me go.
No, man. You're the one getting the award, my man.
I'm on the board of the Gastric Cancer Foundation, and unfortunately, we lost a daughter to that disease 7 years ago. We have been working hard with lots of other nonprofits to help find a cure for that awful disease, which most people don't know anything about, and help the people who are suffering from it or who have family members suffering from it, develop the capacity to overcome that and to go on and live. I think the biggest contribution we made to that fight was establishing a registry where people all over the country can put in their experiences with the disease and their lifestyle, so that researchers can attempt to see whether or not there are any threads of similarity between their cases. And so that registry's only been open for 4 years. Already there have been 5 or 6 professional articles published in medical journals that refer to it. And it's been a wonderful experience working with the Stanford Medical School on that project.
I had an opportunity to do a live Facebook video. We're not live on Facebook, but I did one with the Shinshinitz Bar and Leah. Can you talk about Bar and Leah?
They're so much fun. She's really a
I know the Weintraub said you are integral, so don't be so humble. I mean, did you have that kind of experience? Did you go to Israel at that age?
No.
Of course, you were dealing with all you were an adult early.
Well, but in those days, going to Israel was a whole different thing. It was it was Palestine. First of all.
Yeah, exactly. That's
it
right.
wasn't even Israel. But I will tell you
was there flights, or you take a boat there?
You could get a boat. Well, yeah, you couldn't fly. When my aunt went to Israel, she made Aliyah in the late 30s and was there throughout the Second World War and afterwards. And every year at the Passover Seder, where the last line is next year in Jerusalem, it gave the whole family pause to think about the fact that they had someone in Jerusalem. At those times, making telephone calls was like the most expensive.
Sure.
And letters took 3, 4, 5 weeks to get back and forth. And that was my first experience with Israel. And this is talking now about from the time I was 5 or 6 years old. I didn't visit there until, I don't know, unfortunately I can't give you the date, but my wife and I have been there 55 times.
55. So then, the talk about Bar and Leah, because I mean, to me, I enjoy their pure maturity and innocence. That sounds like a contradiction, but it's there.
We first met her a couple of years ago on a trip to Israel when she was...
You're talking about Leah?
Yeah. When she was in a leadership position in Kiryat Malachim with the youth. And you could tell right there and then that she overcame all of the unfortunate happenstances that happened to her as a result of being an Ethiopian, and that she was marked for success. And I was really pleased. I had nothing to do with her selection, but I was pleased to see her come here because I knew she was going to be outstanding. I did not know him at all until he came.
Bar is him.
Yeah, Bar.
Yeah.
Until he arrived, and of course I've seen both of them equally. I would guess since they've been here.
In 2017, has mentoring changed from the 1960s, from the 1970s? I mean, I interview musicians from before I was born. I'm doing a film documentary on Stan Getz, which is the boat thing. Stan came back from Sweden in 1960 on a boat. So I have an old soul, but I wonder, what are the tenets of mentoring for Ron Weintraub?
They haven't changed at all.
Wow.
Some of the things that I'm going to talk about tonight are still part of mentoring, and that's the personal relationship that you build. This is outside of family, it may be even outside of your boss at work, but the relationship you build with other people that you can count on and they can count on you too. It hasn't changed at all.
What else is on your docket for this year? What's something that you are looking forward to in this dystopic time?
I've been asked to serve on the advisory committee for curriculum development that's located in the Bay Area, it so happens also, that screens textbooks to make sure they're fair in portraying Israel and the Jewish religion. And I find that very meaningful work and something that I'm really excited about getting involved in, even though I'm an octogenarian.
I hope you would come back on my radio show on Broadway and we'll do an hour live worldwide, because I don't know how that's a fine line to walk right there in this environment. I would love to talk to you more about textbooks and how to, so that it's not sugar-coated, that it's the truth.
Right.
Okay.
Unbiased.
But objective and not politicized, and not and not and not overblown, but
Right.
as close to the truth as you know.
Right. Right.
Ron Weintraub, an honor to connect with you, and I look forward to doing it again.
And then, are we off?
No.
Okay, I want to tell you something. It's nothing.
Okay.
to do with being here.
Take care, man.